instant it has traveled x feet horizontally. Of course, as soon as you see anything like this, you know you're going to be putting it into the calculator. So a quick refresher. Turn the calculator on. There's two of those. And we are going to go edit in the stats here under the stat editor. But notice that I already have some information in there. So what I would do is, instead of trying to delete each one of these items like this and just messing everything up, the best thing to do is to go to Stat and use number 4, which is the Clear List option. That's going to clear a list, but you have to tell the calculator which list to clear. So here under 1, comma, second 2, notice this L1 and L2 are above these here, and of course they're yellow, so that means you use a second. Separate each one of them by a comma, and this will clear the list in both. And that really is the best way to do it from experience. If you try to go in and rewrite over the data, inevitably you mess up something, have an extra piece of data that you've got to erase from another problem, and you have dimension errors. It's best just to go ahead and wipe the list clean and start over. The list of data that we're going to use is not too terribly long, so it's no big deal. All right, so now when I go look at stats again, and I hit edit, I should have nothing in there. Now let me pause right there and make sure everybody get to this screen. That's the stat, option edit. Make sure you have an L1 and L2. You have an L1 and L2. Because notice that if you go above this thing with the cursor, you can actually get on top of where it says L1 and L2. And if you think like some computer applications, maybe if you just hit clear right there, you'll clear the whole list. Well, you do clear the whole list. I mean the whole list. L2 disappears from the calculator. So it goes to L1 and then L3 and nothing works. So please don't do that, okay? I can put it back for you, but you don't want to be messing with that on Thursday. So stay away from that. Let's go put the data in. We have it on this worksheet right here. Okay, so the first one's not too bad. It goes up by 20. So 20. To get over to L2, you scroll over and same. Okay, notice how my two lines have matched up. I do have the same amount of data. Okay, what's your question, boss?
Are we going to be allowed to have any of these notes?
No.
We have to have this all
I
memorized.
want you to have this memorized, yes. All right. You're going to be using this sometime, well, I don't know who. If you go on to some physics classes or some further stats classes, you're going to need to know how to do this without looking at notes there. So it's not that hard. A couple of times through it, I think you can get it. I will be available to answer some minor questions. If you can't remember how to get to a particular window, I don't mind helping you, but it's really not been too bad. It's all centered around the stat button. We have clear list and we have editor. We're getting the data in. A couple of things. It's worthwhile to take a second to check the data's correct, because one data value off will give you a completely different answer than somebody else. So it doesn't hurt to go back and look. So I would do that myself right here. Start at the top. 25, 40, 55, 65, 70. Didn't take too long to do that. So, all right. Now, we want to look at the scatter plot of this stuff to get some ideas of what to do. The y equals button has a stat plot there. If you hit y equals, you should see your stat plot there. We've got other work, sorry. And you definitely don't want to have any work. So let's go to y equals, clear out any of this stuff, and make sure that this plot is turned on, highlighted the way mine is. Does everybody have that? Now if I hit graph right now, I'm not going to see anything. My graph looks like this, and yours probably looks a little bit different. Why is this the case? Yeah. we're looking at either what you guys might be looking at the standard window or whatever the calculator was looking at the previous time you used it. What we want to do is we want to calculate the biggest and smallest x value and the biggest and smallest y value and set the window appropriately. Actually, the calculator will do that whole process for you with something called zoom stat. We go to the zoom button, option number 9, says zoom stat. With one push of the button, the calculator will find the smallest and largest x value, or list 1 value, and the smallest and largest y value, or list 2 value, and set the window up so you can do those things in the window, all with the push of a button. So we definitely want to take advantage of that, right? There you have the data. Not only by context of the problems do we have an idea that this thing isn't going to be linear, but look at the data. Does it look like I should try to put a line through this somehow? Maybe for the first part of it here, but then it deviates from the line pretty quickly. I could maybe try and run through the middle here like this, but I'm going to cause, well, I'm not going to be very accurate at all with this. So, since you guys have all had college algebra now, and you know exactly what some behavior or graphs look like, if you were going to pick an algebraic function to put through this, it probably wouldn't be a straight line, would it? What does it look like? In other words, if you read the top of the handout, it says quadratic regression, right? This looks more like an upside down parabola than anything else. Now, on Thursday, it's not going to say quadratic regression. You're going to have to choose which one you think is best. And you can see here that putting a line through this thing is just not going to be a good idea. So we're going to put a parabola through it. The process is the same. Under stats, over to calculate. Last time we used option number 4, which is linear regression. Right past it, what does that say right here? Quadratic regression, or quadratic for short. So we're going to come down here and do quadratic regression. Now I could run quadratic regression as is right now, but I also want to do one other thing, which is to have it to run the quadratic regression and place the equation into my y1 for me. Clear this out, do it again. Okay. Under stats, go over to calculate. Go down to option number 5 this time instead of 4. We used 4 last time. So your command starts out like this, and you can run it as such right now. But we want to do something better. We want to put it into y1. So if you hit the variables button, and then over to y variables in the function, you see your list of y2 through whatever. Y1 through whatever. This is the same y1, y2, y3 that you find under the y equals. So you can tell it right here which of these places you want to put it. We might as well use y1, right? No reason not to. Okay, so this is what the command looks like now. Quad reg it to y1. Does everybody have this on the screen? You have quad reg?
I was writing it down.
So go to stats, go to calculate down to quad reg, enter, and then hit variable. Oh, there's now there's 2 of them. All right, so let's go ahead and run it. Take a second. Now you probably don't have the r squared on yours. Some of you might. But notice that it tells you the function looks like y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. It says so right here. And you will answer me on Thursday if I say, what is the model for this data? You will have to show me some kind of a function. And I have the values of a, b, and c listed right after that, so let's put them in. Y equals negative 0.003. At least 4 decimal places would be good here. 38 x squared plus 1.0435x plus 0.3095. I just rounded to 4 decimal places here. Notice that I have an x squared and here an x, and also notice that if I was to round to 2 decimal places, probably be